Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Angela, and if you weren't already aware, this is Reading Off My Shelf, and thank you for dropping in to this video. My question today is, how much would you pay for a book? Are they really worth the price that you see on these reselling markets? For example, we'll say Vinted, which is where I've been looking at prices on there. We obviously also have eBay. I don't know if you have such an issue with Amazon, but what it basically is what are the price that people are prepared to pay. So before I go into a discussion, talk about it, give you a little bit of my thoughts on it, if you don't already subscribe to my channel, please consider doing so. It's free, costs you nothing, and it helps me, and I hopefully would be making some videos that you would quite like to watch. Also, comment down below if you have any opinions on this subject. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy the video, if you would like more of this sort of thing, talking about, you know, picking a subject and talking about it. So yeah, let's get on with it. So it's something that I have noticed for a while. I do like to shop on Vinted. I do quite like looking at the second-hand books or the second-hand book market in various places. I don't tend to go to eBay much now. I'm going to drink my coffee. I've grabbed a cup of coffee. But sometimes I go a bit scrolling, and I go down that rabbit hole of, you know, you hear, and I'm not necessarily wanting to buy the books, but I'm going to use what I think are the most common boxes, Illumicrate, Fairy Loot. So you get these special editions. I've got various copies of these books because I was a subscriber to both of them for quite a while. Then I stopped. Then recently had picked it back up and gone, but I had gone for the sort of the young adult one, and I found that the books weren't. I think I'd moved on from them, and I would like to go for the adult box. I'm on the waiting list for that. But you get these lovely editions of books. You know the type, you've seen them, people's unboxings, you get the beautiful sprayed edges. So on average, and I looked before that, the boxes I think are £27. I think you do pay postage on top of that. I'm sure it used to work out about £35 a month. I'm talking, I've just looked at the Fairy Loot one there, just to give you an idea of what you're paying. So you're paying about £27 for the box. Now with that's for the young adult one. You do get some bookish items with it, so you get, so I don't know how much you would value the actual book itself. There's, like we say, the special editions are quite often have sprayed edges, they'll have nice end pages, they'll have a different dust cover. You can get some very beautiful, pretty books. Now if these books hit the internet or hit the market and they just fly, they just take off and crumbs, the price they land at is just ridiculous. I personally, yes, I have paid a bit for an edition. I would say, unless if I really love the book and I really want it, I probably would pay £30 plus postage and delivery, or I have in the past. Whether or not I would now, because when I sit back, yeah, it also, I think, sometimes becomes a little bit of an addiction, because you think, oh, I want that beautiful book. You haven't read the book. You might hate the book. The book might be a 5-star. You might want to, you know, DNF the book. But you get pulled in with these beautiful editions. So where I sort of noticed more edition was, and I haven't got my copy of it, I hasten to add, not one I bought off Vinted, but there was the book When the Moon Hatched. And I think at the time, in fact I must have been getting, was I getting the Vinted or the Illumicrate? I certainly had got that book in a book box. Or had I bought it, I might have pre-ordered it from Waterstones. I certainly got the version of the book from somewhere. And then there was talk of one of the editions, like I say, I can't recall if it's the Waterstone version or one of the book boxes. Anyhow, it was beautiful. And out of interest, I looked on Vinted to see what these books were selling for. And no word of a lie, some of these books, these copies of this sprayed edge, beautiful book, they were asking like £100 for this book. Now, to me, everything is only as valuable or worth what anybody's willing to pay. And don't get me wrong, if you want to pay £100 for a book, then, you know, get on with it, you know what I mean? Good on you. But sometimes I think these sites, and like I say, I'm going to keep mentioning Vinted because it's the one I look at. I think to myself, are these people are people going to pay this? Now, I think, in my opinion, if you've read that book and it's a 5-star and it's something you think you're going to reread and you love the book, you absolutely adore this book, it's one of your favourite books, you're planning to keep this forever, and you want to pay that amount of money, then, you know, like we say, each to their own, you do what you do. But to me, to pay, if I was paying that, and I actually wouldn't pay that amount of money, because I feel our tastes move on. Books come and go in fashion almost. So, you know, but you do look, and I think I was looking, I've got my phone here because I was looking before. I've got on my Vinted site, let me go to, I think, is it classed under my favourites? Because I kind of highlighted a couple of them. So we've got, oh gosh, there isn't one there. Of course it's not there. Let's, well, I'll look at, we'll move to another book at the moment. So that Alchemized, which is Waterstones did a special edition. Now, when they were doing their editions, when you were pre-ordering, you're probably paying about £25. Again, you're paying postage for it. But you probably, and I think on average, Waterstones is it £3.99 for that? And again, beautiful sprayed edges. That's quite a thick book. I want to say, I'm sure it's about 900 pages. It's like this, it's a chunker. But looking there, and that was just looking before I came on, wanted to film today. We have a copy of it on Vinted, selling for, or they're wanting £60 plus, but that, if you then, I'm just going to click on it because it then says, but you pay £63.70, which includes the buyer's protection. So the seller's getting £60. If you were going for that, I think, again, you're paying probably, is it about is it £4 or £5 delivery? So in some ways you're nearly paying £70 for a book. Now, unless you really, really love that book, like I say, would you pay that? I personally wouldn't. We've got, at the moment, just happened when I was clicking to search books, we've got at the moment Rewitched, which was Lucy Jane Woods's book off last year, the sprayed edges. I actually had it, and actually, if I recall and know how to do it, I'll put a card there. I'll link the video below where I talked about the first two books. But at the present moment, including the buyer's tax, that's selling for, they've got that on for £37 and 45 pence. £35 for the seller, plus obviously the postage. But I think what happens with Vinted, I don't sell on Vinted, but I think you print off a sticker, so you don't actually get the postage money. That's just printed off. But they're wanting £35. Now, like I say, at the time of when that came out, you're looking, it was about £25 because I got that one there. I thought I'd sort of added more. I'll click on to one. Actually, one of the ones I wanted to show you was, let's go there, because I thought I'll try and look at a one that I've got. Of course, I can't find the one I was looking at before. There we go. Whoa, this is actually not the price I looked at. So here we've got an Illumicrate exclusive new version, not a new version, copy of Babel, whatever you call it. So they're talking £95 the seller wants. With the buyer's protection, that knocks it up to £100. Well, actually, £145. Plus on top of that you would have the postage, so we're looking there, like I say, about £4 or £5. Right, so remember that figure, £95. This is the book. It's the Illumicrate. Fortunately at the time, in fact, am I short of any cash? I wouldn't. It's this, right? I got it in the Illumicrate box. We've got gorgeous sprayed edges. It actually comes, this is quite special because this then had an outer box. It was the book of the moment, wasn't it? Everybody wanted this. It is a beautiful box thing. We've got that, we've got the end pages. This version is signed by the author. So, but my point being, it's a book. It's a book. Again, what is too much? Recently, like I say, I remember at the time, in fact I probably ruined the because I've put it in my book cart. We'll move that out of the way. Let's have a look at, because I've lost the version. So that's like £97 or over £100. When the moon hatched, because I was looking at that before. Normal editions you can buy for, which I think one of the ones I've got is you can now buy that for, is that hardback? I'm not sure if that one's a hardback. That might be a paperback. Doesn't say, because that's saying that's selling for £4, but that's just the normal editions. Same as that Alchemist is, you can buy that, I think I saw it for £7, but that's just the straight edition. But we've got here versions of When the Moon Hatched, £55. Again, they're the cheaper ones. I'm sure I saw more expensive. We've got one there, £60, and these are the prices before you get the protection on the buyer's protection. Let's see if we've got anything else of silly prices. It's £69. Like I say, that's again, I'm just picking these kind of Alchemist. Let's have a look. Like I say, we've got £65, 44. Now that is still pricey, but as I say, it's £55, £63. You get the picture. You get the picture. What? Like I say, do you know, oh gosh, I wouldn't say never. I mean, I certainly wouldn't pay £100 for it. I wouldn't pay £100 for a book. And like I say, these books obviously sell. People are willing to pay for them, pay the price for them. And if you love that book, then like we say, but what worries me is, you know, three of the ones that we talked about there, they've all been sort of Waterstones, I would say special editions, signed by the author, sprayed edges, etc, etc. Quite often it's sort of your Illumicrate, but you tend to find like your Illumicrate, your Lock Library, your Fairy Loot, your Waterstone special editions. They sell out quite quickly, especially if we're talking Waterstones. And so what worries me is people are maybe, I don't know if they're very good at reading the market, but they buy them and then they quite often you'll see resell new without tags, never been read. So some people have got quite a business going when they're buying these books. And you've got, what saddens me is that you've probably got people who truly adore books, love books, find the special editions beautiful, and then to be able to, you know, to buy these. It is just stupid prices. And like I say, if this is a book you've not read and you hate it and you've paid £60 odd, but like I say, each to their own. If that's what you want to do, you know, I personally wouldn't do it. I don't judge you on that. If it's because I think at the end of the day, it's your money, whatever you spend your money on. It just amazes me. It just like I say, it does. And you know, like I say, this now, like I say, oh sorry, I think we're coming right short. So this one here, I can't remember at the time. We were probably talking, the box was, I think Illuma Crate and Fairy Loot are probably around about the same price. So you're talking about £30–35 at the most for the box. And again, with Illuma Crate, you got bookish items with it as well. So it's just, now like I say, that there's one on there on the site for £95. Who say it will sell? Might not sell. But you know, it's a book. Incidentally, I've never read this. You know, I've got, in fact, as it happens, I got that. It must have been a book of the moment, because I got that in the Illuma Crate. I'm looking up here. I think I'd already pre-ordered, because there'd been the pre-publish hype. I'd pre-ordered from Waterstones. I'm pretty sure I've got the Waterstones one. Then it came in the Fairy Loot edition, because I've got, so there's the Waterstones, a Fairy Loot. I've got another one as well. Did it come with a locked library? So because I remember thinking, beautiful as they are, oh, that's another copy of the same book. So I think there was only sort of one purchase was a do we say a deliberate purchase, as in I pre-ordered it, thought that sounds good, and then, as I say, then it was to, because with these, and I've never been able to figure out how what you do, but you know, with sort of Illuma Crate and Fairy Loot, and like I say, I think one might be locked library. You never really know. It's almost an unboxing surprise what the book is, because personally I wouldn't have wanted as many copies, and like I say, I haven't even read it. I hope I like the book, but I don't know. Anyway, so I just wanted to talk to bit, you know, just bring the subject up. How much is too much for a book? What is the value of a book? I think, yes, if you're talking a rare book, if you're talking a first edition, but there are hundreds of these Waterstones, Fairy Loot, Illuma Crate, Lock Library. I'm not sure what are the book boxes, but you know what I mean? There's hundreds of these books about, so it's not a rare book. Yeah, it's just it's food for thought. It's food for thought. It was just something, like I say, I'd noticed it previously with other books, I think possibly around the Babel side of it. Then certainly I think when the somebody I'd seen, I think on TikTok or something, had unboxed, or her husband had bought a copy of When the Moon Hatched. I don't know how much they paid for it, which then, out of nosiness, thought I'm gonna have a look and see how much they're selling for on Vinted. And like I say, they were looking, again, it was £100. And then obviously most recently the book that a lot of people were talking about was The Alchemist, and so I, again, out of interest, looked at what the prices were doing, and I was just speechless, gobsmacked, thinking, my God, people are wanting £70 for a book. But like we say, if people pay that, they pay that. And there must be a market out there. What's your thoughts? Comment down below. What do you think? Would you pay that if it was your favourite book? And I'm, like I say, I'm not talking just a first edition. Do you think it's too much? Like I say, never say never, but probably with me 99% certain I would never pay that. I wouldn't pay a silly price. I don't think any book is worth that. Yeah. Anyhow, I have waffled for 20 minutes. If you have got to the end of this, then thank you very much for watching, and thanks for sticking till the end. Interesting, if you have got to the end of it, give me the book emoji. I haven't done emoji for a wee while, but if you have got to the end of this video, give me a book emoji. Tell me your thoughts on it. I'm like I say, I'm not judging anybody what they pay for the book. It just, as I say, amazes me what the prices are, and interesting to see whether or not they sell. You know, I might sort of, I was going to say favour a few of them, but if you favour them, if the book then sells, you get on your account, you know, this book sold, which would be interesting to see whether these books are selling at that price. You know, if there's a demand for it, like we say. Anyway, I've waffled on. Do take care. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very shortly in another video. Please do tell me if you want us to do another kind of chatty video, just my views, my thoughts, you know, on a subject. Anyway, take care, because I have talked for far too long. Thank you for watching. Bye. Thank you. Bye bye.